practicing a lot, taking a lot of lessons, but I get out on the course and I just don't know what I'm supposed to do first. I'm so confused sometimes.
So it's like almost like you don't even know what you're supposed to think about because I imagine what's happening because you're taking a lot of lessons is you're thinking about technique, which is natural. You know, when you're on the lesson tee, like I'm a golf instructor, obviously. When I give a lesson, I expect on the lesson tee, the practice tee, that people are trying to implement what I taught them. So they're thinking about, let's say, their grip, or the backswing, or the hip turn, whatever the case is with you when you're taking lessons. However, when you get on the golf course, it's game time. You almost need to forget about your swing. You know, there's an old saying, you got to dance with the guy who brought you. That's kind of how you have to feel on the golf course. Practice time is practice time. Golf course time is game time. Patty, you're a basketball player. You play collegiately. You understand that you put a lot of work in on the practice court. You know, you practice your technique with free throws. You practice where your elbow was, where your hands were. You practice, you know, your wrist movement. You spend endless hours practicing your free throws. You spend endless hours putting 3-foot putts. Going back to basketball again. You spend a lot of time with the coach and your team practicing drills. You know, the coach calls a play and you run that play in practice over and over again until it becomes second nature. Well, that's what, as a golfer, you're supposed to do, but no one ever does that. They take one lesson, they go on the golf course, and they think that they're supposed to play, you know, Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do what you've been doing. You take golf lessons, you go to the range, you go to the practice green, and you think about what the instructor told you and you perfect it. Just like practicing basketball was for you, Patty. And then what happens is you get on the golf course and you think about nothing except the target. Patty, when you're in a basketball court, you don't go in a basketball court and you're thinking about the free throw and where your elbow is and what you're supposed to do. You're focusing on the rim. You're focusing probably on the back of the rim. Your brain is focusing on the target. Your body's already practiced it. You're dancing with the guy who brought you. When you get to the golf course, if you don't have a swing then, when you got there, you're not going to develop a swing in the middle of the round. You know, when I was in high school, I was in the state championship. Thankfully, I ended up winning the state championship, but here's the story.
Thankfully.
Thankfully. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. So I remember the first round, I was playing with a girl who could not hit the ball above my head. She did not get that ball airborne for an entire 18 holes, yet she scored better than I did that day. I was hitting these high, beautiful shots, hitting the balls, hitting the green, spinning back. I couldn't score. The game is about scoring. In basketball, it's how many points you score. In golf, it's how few points you score, in essence. This girl beat me like a drum that day, and she never hit a pretty shot the entire day, but that's not what it was all about. She knew how to get the ball in the hole. She was focused on the target the entire day. Thankfully, the next day she kind of fell apart because you do have to have fundamentals. You do have to have a good swing. You do have to hit high shots occasionally, and that's what you're doing right now by taking lessons and practicing. So I guess long story short, when you practice, you're thinking about your swing. When you get to the golf course, it's game time. When you get to the golf course, you forget your swing. You forget what the teacher taught you. You dance with the guy who brought you. So, I don't know. Did I confuse you more than I helped you at this point?
I think everybody better watch out. Because game is on.
Here comes
Game on.
Patricia.
Yeah.
Game on.
Game on. Yep. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you.